So today we'll discuss one concept of solving limit using rationalization method. Okay. So before solving question, we'll discuss the theory related to this method. So if limit extends to a f of x, okay, divided by g of x tends to or reduces to either 0 by 0 form or infinity by infinity form. Okay, in that case, and one of f or g involves square root, then we'll use okay, then we will use rationalization method. Okay, let suppose in question we are given this function, okay, a f of x by g of x, and when x tends to a, this f of x by g of x tends to either this 0 by 0 form, it reduces to either 0 by 0 form or infinity by infinity form. जब फंक्शन हमारे पास एफ ऑफ एक्स बाई जी ऑफ एक्स होगा और एक्स ए या किसी भी नॉन जीरो या कांस्टेंट पे टेंड करेगा, तब इधर अगर फंक्शन 0 बाय 0 और इन्फिनिटी बाय इन्फिनिटी फॉर्म किसी में भी रिड्यूस हो जाता है, और आइदर न्यूमरेटर और डिनोमिनेटर कोई भी एक फंक्शन अगर स्क्वायर रूट रहता है उसमें, तो हम रेशनलाइजेशन मेथड का यूज करेंगे. फॉर एग्जांपल विल सी द क्वेश्चन वेयर विल यूज द रेशनलाइजेशन. एग्जांपल दे रहा हूं मैं एक. ओके, लिमिट x टेंड्स टू 0 2 प्लस x minus root 2, okay, divided by x. Okay, so clearly we can see that when x tends to 0, जब x 0 को अप्रोच करता है, तब ये फंक्शन जो है ये किसको अप्रोच कर रहा है? 0 बाय 0 है ना. न्यूमरेटर में x की जगह 0 पुट करेंगे तो ये √2 आएगा. √2 माइनस √2 विल बी 0, और नीचे डिनोमिनेटर में x है तो डायरेक्ट 0 पुट कर सकते हैं, तो ये 0 बाय 0 फॉर्म को रिड्यूस हो रहा है. और न्यूमरेटर में स्क्वायर रूट इन्वॉल्व है, तो ये रेशनलाइजेशन का मतलब रेशनलाइजेशन मेथड के थ्रू हम इसको सॉल्व कर सकते हैं. तो ये मतलब आइडियल सिचुएशन है रेशनलाइजेशन मेथड को यूज करने का. सो विल सी क्वेश्चन एंड ट्राई टू सॉल्व. सो with the help of questions we will try to understand this concept. Okay, so ओके, तो इसको सॉल्व करने के लिए हम क्या करेंगे? अभी लिमिट x टेंड्स टू 0, तो ये जो एक्सप्रेशन हमें दिख रहा है फंक्शन का डिनोमिनेटर में, इसको हम रेशनलाइज करेंगे, स्क्वायर रूट को रिमूव करेंगे. उसके लिए हमें यहाँ पे एक्स प्लस ए इस एक्सप्रेशन का यहाँ पे ले लिया है और हम इसको एग्जैक्टली नीचे और ऊपर मल्टीप्लाई कर देंगे. ओके, so let me write it clearly so that it will be x plus minus a minus x और x plus a square root plus a minus x. Okay, so clearly we can see that in denominator here it is in the format of a plus b into a minus b. So we'll use x into x plus a plus a minus x. So divided by, we'll use a square minus b square, so it will be x plus a minus x. So it will be what reduces to limit extends to 0, it will be x. Okay, x plus a root over, okay, plus a minus x root over divided by, it will be what, 2x. So we'll cancel out x here. So the resultant parts will be what, limit extends to 0. Okay, it is 1 by 2 into, okay, x plus a root over plus a minus x, okay, root over. So when we will use x tends to 0 here, then it will be 1 by 2 into root a plus root a, 2 root a, so it will be root a. Okay, so here we got the answer. Now we'll see another question. So now we'll check when x tends to 0 whether this function, okay, tends to 0 by 0 or infinity by infinity or not. Then when x tends to 0, clearly we can see that denominator of the function tends to 0 and numerator will also be 0. So it will reduce as to 0 by 0. So it is clear. Now we'll solve. Okay, so we'll multiply and divide. Okay, the will by taking plus expression of numerator. Okay, so it will be so the numerator is in the form of a plus b into a minus b, so it will be a square minus b square. Here a is, here this one is our required a, okay, and it is our required b, so it is a, okay, so it is our required b, okay, so it is a minus b into a plus b, so it will be what, a square minus b square. Now we will just apply the formula, so it will be, okay, so here we will cancel out plus 1 minus 1, so the resultant expression will be what, by taking x common, it will be x into 1 plus x, okay, okay, limit x tends to 0, so we'll cancel out here x and x, so it will be 1 plus x divided by 1 plus x square over plus 1, so it will be what, when will x tends to 0, it will be 1, okay, it will be 1 and 1, it will be 2, so it is the resultant answer. Now I'll see some another question, that is limit x tends to 3 x plus 3 minus 6, okay, sorry, root over of 6, and it is x square minus 9. So we'll first check whether when x tends to 3, this function approaches to what. So clearly you can see that when x tends to 3, the numerator will tends to, okay, root 6 minus root 6, so it will be 0 divided by, the denominator will be, when x tends to 3, so it will be 3 square minus 9, so 9 minus 9, it will also be 0, so it reduces to 0 by 0 form. So we will solve this question using rationalization method. So what will we do next? We will multiply and divide the root plus of root 2 expression, okay, so involving square root function, so it will be x plus 3 minus root 6 divided by x square minus 9 into, okay, x plus 3 plus root 6, okay, divided by x plus 3 plus root 6. So clearly we can see that the numerator is in the form of a plus b into a minus b, so it will be it will reduce us to a square minus b square, so it will be, okay, x plus 3 minus 6 divided by x square minus 9, okay, and it will be, we'll write it as it is, okay. So when x tends to 3, this expression, only this one, okay, this, so it will reduces to a non-zero number, so by putting x tends to 3, we'll take this non-zero constant outside the limit, okay, so it will be reduces to what? When x tends to 3, it will be, okay, root 6 2 root 6. Okay, 2 root 6. So we'll take outside this 2 root 6. Okay. So it will be x minus 3 divided by x square minus, we can write it here, 9h 3 square. So it will be 2 root 6 limit 10 to 3. So it will be divided by x minus 3. I can write it here as, so it will be what? 1 by 2 root 6 into, okay, it will be what? And, okay, sorry, it will be 2 into 3 minus, okay, okay. So we got this answer. Okay. Now, now we'll solve another question. Okay. So, okay. So first we'll check what? The form when x tends to 1, this function tends to what? So we'll put 1 in place of x in the function. So the numerator will be what? Root 4 minus root 4. So it will be 0 divided by, so 1 square minus 1, it will be 1 minus 1, it will be also be 0. So it converted to 0 by 0 form. Now we'll use the rationalization method for solving. So what we will do, okay, so it will be, okay, so if we see carefully, the numerator is in the form of a plus b into a minus b. Okay, here 3 plus x is our a required a, and 3 minus x is our required b. So it will be 3 plus x minus 3 minus x. So clearly we can see that when x tends to 1, this term will reduces to a non-zero constant. Okay, that will be what? Root 4 plus root 2. Okay, so we'll take this non-zero constant outside the limit. So in next step we'll do that. Then it will be what? 1 by root 4 plus root 2. Limit x tends to 1, it will be 2x divided by x square minus 1. So now what will we do? So I will take this 2 outside the limit, so it will be what, 2 by, okay, root 4 plus root 2 into limit x tends to 1 x by x square minus 1. So here we can see that when x tends to 1, so we'll see here that we have done one mistake actually. So here I have written 3 in place of 5, so it will be 5. Okay, so it will be 5. Okay, so here I can write 5. Okay, it will be 5. Okay, so it will also be 5. Okay, it will be 5. Okay, so now it will, okay, it will be 5. So it will be, okay, root 4, okay, 2 root 4, okay, it will be, okay, it will be, okay, so it will be what, 2 into root 4. Okay, so the numerator will be, so the numerator will be what, limit x tends to 1, it will be minus 2, okay, plus 2x divided by x square minus 1. So clearly I can see that, so it will be what, okay, 2 root 4 into limit x tends to 1, it will be, by taking 2 outside, it will be x minus 1. Okay, so just I'm taking 2 outside the limit, and it will be square minus 1. So it will be 1 by 2, limit x tends to 1, x minus 1 divided by x plus 1 into x minus 1. So I can cancel out x minus 1, so it will be 2. So 1 by 2 into 1 by 2, it will be 1 by 4. Okay, now we'll see another question here. Okay, limit x tends to 0, 1 plus x square root over minus 1 minus x square root over divided by x. So one thing we'll check here, that when x tends to 0, this function tends to which form? Okay, so when we'll put 0 in place of x, the numerator will be 1 minus 1, so it will be 0, and the denominator is will be 0. So now we can solve this question using rationalization method. So Okay, so we have just multiplied and divide the plus expression of the numerator of this question. Okay, just to rationalize. So it will be, it is in the form of a plus b into a minus b. So it will be 1 plus x square minus 1 minus x square divided by x. Okay, it is 1 plus x square plus 1 minus x square. So when we'll see that when x tends to 0, this term reduces to a non-zero value. And that non-zero value is what? 2. Okay. So we'll just take outside the limit that non-zero value. So it will be what? So it will be, okay, 2x square divided by x here. So when x tends to 0, okay, now just taking 2 outside the limit, then 1 by 2 into 2 will be 1. So it is limit x tends to 0, it is x. Okay, it will be 0. Okay, so here we solve another question. Now we'll see another question. Okay, okay, root x minus 1. So one thing that we have to check is that when x tends to 1, this function tends to which format? So when x tends to 1, the numerator, okay, 1 minus 1, so 0 divided by root x minus 1, so root 1 minus 1, it will be also be 0. Okay, that's all. Now we can apply the rationalization method here. Okay, so it will be limit x tends to 1, it will be x square minus, okay, root x divided by root x minus 1 into root x plus 1 into root x plus. So the denominator is in the form of what? A plus b into a minus b. So, sorry. So, it will be a square minus b square. So it will be x minus 1. Okay. Now when x tends to 1, this one will give us a non-zero value. Okay. This one will give us a non-zero value. So we'll take this limit out, the non-zero value outside the limit. So it will be what? 2 limit x tends to 1, okay, x square minus root x by x minus 1. So now what we will do? We will rationalize the numerator again. Okay, because the numerator involves still now the square root. So what we will do again? Limit x tends to 1, x square minus root x square plus root x minus 1 x square plus root x. Okay, so to limit x tends to 1, so clearly we can see that the numerator is in the form of a plus b into a minus b. Here a is x square and b is square root of x, so it will be x4 minus x divided by x minus 1 into x square plus root x. So when x tends to 1, we can see that this term will reduce us to a non-zero value. So by putting x uh, in place of x 1, we'll take this non-zero value outside the limit. So it will be 1 by 2. Okay. So 2 is here already and 1 by 2 came. So limit x tends to 1, it will be x to the power 4 minus x divided by x minus 1. Okay, so we'll take x common from the numerator. So x we take common. So it is in a particular format of solving limit. Okay, it is a standard format of solving limit. So it will be 1 into 3 into 1 to the power 2. So we got answer as 3. So here we saw how we have solved some limit question. So that's